Oh man, we're live. Shoot. No time for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's Kicking It with Andy. We're going to be talking about wiring speakers. So without further ado, I think I got a button over here somewhere. Let's kick it off. L7X go!
Let's get it. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. I see what we're doing. Kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. Livin Loud. Hey, yo, we kicking it with Andy at the house. He's coming to you live from the casting couch. He's a kicker freak. Hey, yo, what you think? So grab a seat and get your favorite drink. Don't go nowhere, you'll be glad you waited. Andy content comes highly rated. He got more hits than a Brooklyn mobster, doing hair tricks in the Cookie Monster. Straight give you goosebumps like you ticklish. Hey yo, rest in peace to Chris the Fish. So get your popcorn, Andy's going live, but the show don't start till Deviant arrives. What?
Thank you, L7X go! Green team, green team. Choo choo! Appreciate you guys.
Gone cave rolled up to learn some sound effects. Met some good peeps, now we chillin', relax. The after show is lit, yo, check the live chat. And in the clips, you wanna try that. Kicking It with Andy is such a dope show. He stays super positive and a super chill bro. Making us laugh with his McGill memes. Quality content in all of his streams. Why does Cookie Monster bang harder than a wall? Cause he was the big brand name that started it all. Kick a bass so low that it's messing with your psyche. Y'all running sketching while my homie running Nike. My homie running Nike. My homie running Nike. My homie running Nike.
Hey yo, Johnny, have a seat, relax. We got this next one. Yeah. Hey yo, check me out. Third verse like that, we say the best for last. Drop a super chat to get your questions asked. 5K subs, yo, he gon' hit. Got a L7X and a Recone Kit. Tuesday and Friday, yo, we on the set. Unless he get that Patreon check, go ahead, subscribe, and he's on the mic. If you gotta run by, please hit the like. Solo and Wiz got that fish tank filled, but is he ever gonna finish that Walmart build? Ain't got a witness, so we'll never know. That was 3 minutes, now enjoy the show. Let's go.
My homie running Nike.
Hey yo, Andy, we love you, boy. Keep doing your thing, King. You got this.
My homie running Nike.
What is going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. And Wiz, man, this is Kicking It with Andy. We can't be joking around here. What is going on? Thank you guys for tuning in with me tonight. And don't forget to enter the giveaway, kicker.com/umweekly, how we do every Tuesday between me and the Kicker Show. And that's going to be a little annoying. I can mess with that later because we are going to be heading over to the dyno section and we're going to be physically wiring woofers. I'm going to show you guys how to do it in the app. And you know, this question has just come up so much, and why not talk about it, man? You really have to. Thank you for tuning in, Bubba. Salutations and good tidings, Kicker fam. Appreciate that you're here hanging out with us, man. Mike, Ammunition. I always mess that up. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys. Dear Ola, Thank you guys that always tune in. Uncle Bobby B, I seen you sent me something, and I've been in the studio for about 5 hours today and a few hours over the weekend. We'll put it that way, just to get everything going how I always do. Appreciate you sending me the stuff, though, Bobby. Thank you for tuning in, hanging out with us tonight. Tonight's going to be fun, man. I am interested. I am really interested in this because wiring woofers can, you know, just be a little complicated sometimes. And, you know, you'll look at woofers, you just look at them and you're not too sure exactly, you know, which one to buy. And you might have an amp and that makes things easier. But sometimes you're looking at it and you're like, man, I don't know if I should get a dual 2 or a dual 4. How does this stuff work? And I'm going to try to cover it the best way that I can tonight for you guys. So please just smash the like. You know the thing. It helps more people see the stuff. Going on, Cornut, and I forgot that I did throw this up earlier. Thank you, LLwA, for the $10 super chat, getting the train rolling. Thank you, man.
This is what makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
Thank you, LLwA. All aboard Team Green. The Livin Loud with Andy night train locomotive is leaving the station. Enjoy the ride, and as always, stay living loud. Thank you, LLwA. Means a lot. And, man, between you and Cornut, guys are awesome. Thank you, LLwA. All right, cool. Dear, he's just starting off hot. Wire as low as possible and smoke that amp. You know, that's what you kind of don't want to do, and we're going to kind of go over all that kind of stuff. It's going to be fun. You know, I had, you know, a few things planned. I wasn't exactly sure, you know, how I was going to do this. And, you know, the more I just took a look at it, and I was like, you know what, let's just see if I can make a little demonstration here for you guys so we can just kind of physically see it. And also, if you guys have questions about, you know, I know a lot of you guys that are tuned in know how to wire woofers, but some people don't, and that's what we're going to just kind of cover everything today. And when you wire more than 2, it can kind of get complicated. We're going to talk all about it. What's going on, Simon? You know what? Thank you for letting me know, Simon. This guy's always tuning in on Kicker Club. I forgot to actually share that into Kicker Club. Let's see, are we live on my page here? There we go. Yeah, that's the only thing about StreamYard. They ruined the whole just straight, you know, streaming to your group. So now I physically have to do this. It's not too bad, but, you know, algorithms, all that fun stuff. Just so we can see everything and see your guys' comments. And I know you guys tune in at Kicker Club too, man. So I kind of have to do that for you guys. All right, cool. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to head over there and just kind of talk about it a little bit, get the train rolling, and then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to show you guys the app. So let's head over there. All right, I want to make sure that that's there so I can type that if I want to. You know, that's one thing I forgot to send over there, but either way, it's okay. One step at a time. Yeah, let's head over here. Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to enter the giveaway. I know you guys are always on it. Got the sign there to remind you. It's on the bottom of the screen over here, kicker.com/umweekly. And they did change the prize. I forgot to move my vacuum. I was vacuuming right before we started. They did change the second place prize to TW1s instead of the TW2s. No noise cancellation and no rubber earbuds. They kind of fit more like the old iPhones kind of thing. You know, the iPhone headset you would get with the Apples or something. You know, just standard stuff. Standard stuff. All right. What's going on, Frank Garcia? Blake, thank you for tuning in. 600 tickets in. Come on, Lucky Lady Luck. Lucky Lady. I mean, one of the two, give or take. All right, now I also, did I switch that over? No, we are on camera 2. I need to be on camera 1 so that we have this overshot here on camera 4. Switch, switch, switch. Bada bing, bada boom. We got some Kicker gold letters here, and I figured why not? They got some pretty meaty terminals on these guys, you know? And I got the Kicker L7 here as well, just for, you know, because it's a different impedance. But that's kind of what I want to go over in the beginning, you know, knowing which one to buy, but let's just learn how to measure them and stuff. Now, I got it zoomed in over here. Hopefully the focus is good for this. I was messing with the focus. Yeah, that should be good. All right, awesome. What's going on, Roger? Thank you for tuning in. The ones, they fall out a lot. Thank you for tuning in. Got loud. Now, excuse me. Right now, it's kind of reading all over the place just because there's music, there's fans. When the speaker moves, it creates an AC flux kind of thing, you know, just it creates power. And so it's not always going to be dead on, but it should be. And we're seeing 4 ohms on this. And right now, this is connected to the L7. Now, let me show you something cool here. You got one woofer, 4 ohms. We're going to hook up this other one here. Come on, Andy, don't forget what you're doing here. So many wires, so many different configurations I was testing. And again, right around 4 ohms. Now, when you put on a meter, it's never going to be dead on the money. It could be pretty close, but it's never going to be right at 4, right at 2, or what have you for your wiring configuration that you got. Now, some people are going to be like, all right, I already know what's going on here. But for the people in the back, how is one woofer showing the same as these two? And that's kind of what you got to think about is, you know, you can have 1 or 2, vice versa, on the same amp that works at the same impedance load that, you know, it's supposed to be ran at. Amps are going to be 4 ohm stable, 2 ohm stable, 1 ohm stable, and sometimes half ohm, but nothing kicker yet. And, you know, that is a decision that you have to make when purchasing the amplifier, which woofer or woofers you're going to have, because if you have 1, it might work, and then when you add 2, it might not. And this case is like, oh yeah, it'll work, but there's a reason why. The reason why, simply put, these are dual force, and right here, this is a dual 2, and it's wired up to 4, and these are wired up and then down to 4. Now, everyone's probably like, what's up, down, what's up, down, what's up, down? All right. Up, down, series, or parallel. And when you have more than 1 woofer, you can have series, parallel, parallel, series. And when you have more than 3, they make a difference. We're going to get into that towards the end, but we're going to keep it kind of simple here just for this. So right now, let's see if I can zoom in on this here a little bit. Who did the Camera 1-2 skit, Wayne's World? I don't know. Thank you for tuning in, Cherry. Man, I need to zoom this out because this is great and all, but I see like 3 comments and that's it. I need to see more than that. There we go. That's good. That's better. Basshead 30, thank you for tuning in with us. Appreciate you. This is Kickers Live. I guess you could say we do the Kicker giveaway. Every other Tuesday, we take turns. All right. So, where did I want to start? Because there's a lot with this stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, you want to match it and vice versa. So, whenever you're first looking at it, let's just keep it simple here. Okay, guys? Let's go to the basics. Whenever you are testing for resistance, there we go. See if that zooms in. Well, we got this other camera here for that. Whenever you're testing for resistance, you're going to want to keep it by the horseshoe. Now, this one is not automatic, just because I like these a little bit better, you know, just for some reasons. The autos are kind of wanky sometimes with subwoofers when you have a lot of them. I don't know why. But this is set at the lowest, and it's also beeping, which you really can't hear. You might be able to hear it, but either way, it tells you that there's continuity. So it's continuity and everything below like 100 ohms, which you should be below that. But anywho, you want to test for the horseshoe. And you're going to want to have it into the volts and horseshoe department and the comm. And what's cool about this multimeter is, I don't know if it's still on there. Yeah, see how that lights up green? It literally tells you where to put it. I like this one. It's for dummies. And you know what? Hey, we all start out at dummies somewhere. Sometimes we just never get past that. But that's pretty much what you're going to be doing for that. And when you're testing, like how we have it on this side here, but for camera angle purposes, you just go to one terminal, you know, so you can check your resistance to make sure that the subwoofer, you know, is okay. That's one thing you want to check, you know, just down the road, whatever, because sometimes you think, man, it's not getting as loud anymore. You might have a bad just one coil, and that happens, man. But hey, appreciate you guys. I seen a few. There's Glenn. Thank you for tuning in, Glenn. Appreciate you. I know everyone's getting ready for Slam, man. Same. I'm excited. Appreciate you guys. All right, cool. So now what we can do is a few things. We have two dual fours. We're not going to talk about the L7 too much, like we can, but just to keep it simple, because it can get complicated, man. I got so many wires just all over the place just because, you know, what have you. So we got dual fours. And to kind of keep it simple for, you know, the average person buying like a kicker amplifier, like how we have the CX 1800 sitting over here, this one right here is actually the 1 ohm version. This is the CXA 46 1800. And then this one here is discontinued, but it's the 2 ohm version, the 43 CX 1800. So, you know, most kicker amplifiers that are monoblock are all 1 ohm stable now, so you can kind of go off of that. But sometimes they're not. Or, you know, maybe you want to hook up a small subwoofer to like a 4-channel, use 2 channels for the woofer and the other 2 for your front stage, and that works too. But then you got to think, hey, what's the lowest I can wire bridge? So maybe you do need a dual 4 wired up to 8, or a dual 2 wired up to 4 and bridge it at 4. So it all depends what you're trying to do, and that's what's great about the Kicker U app. The Kicker U app is awesome, and we're going to get into more complex designs, but we're just going to go and show you guys how to wire these guys up. All right, now I had this zoomed in over here, but that's more for like the final shot. I want to zoom out just a little bit. Yeah, that works, because we got all different angles here. Thank you for tuning in, Stuart. Well, just look at it. Meter for dummies, literally, man. And this thing's still beeping on me here. But yeah, as you can see, this thing's only reading 3.8, 3.7. That's why I was reading a little bit lower when we had a bunch hooked up into it. But another thing that a lot of people fail to mention is whenever you're first using your multimeter, make sure that the leads and the internals inside aren't reading, you know, a positive number, meaning it's going to skew everything. So you go and just tap them together, should read 0. There we go. 0.1. That's how off they are. That's one thing that you want to do before you do all this kind of stuff with this. And I feel like it's just, you know, it's common knowledge, but at the same time, you know, if you're watching this to learn how to wire whatever, then, you know, you're going to want to know that, because you're going to be like, why is it off? Like there's an issue here. Why is it off? I'm reading 5 ohms. I want to be at 4. And that's the reason. It's not because you did something wrong. And if you read high resistance, like 32 ohms, it could be the case with dual 4s, but probably not. It's probably just something with the wiring here, a loose connection, adding resistance, or something along those lines. Let's see. Keep it simple, stupid. You know what? That's perfect. Thank you, Adir. Let me know how the audio sounds, guys. The video. Make sure everything's in focus before we just, you know, dive into this stuff. All right, cool. I don't want to be like in the way of this. You know what? We're gonna keep that one for that one. Come on, Arnie. Quit switching the cameras on me. And we're gonna use it like this, like how I intended. All right. So right now, how I did have it is I had them in series and then down. So I went series parallel. Let me just jump over to the computer over here to show you guys what I did on the Kicker U app. Let me switch over to here. So we're back over here. Oh, well, good thing I got this over here too. Oh my goodness. Stream Deck for the win. I left the remote over there. That's perfect. All right, so let's pull up the Kicker U app. And the Kicker U app is, I think it's free, or it's $1.99, but it's something that you're going to use forever, man. These things are great. So on the Kicker U app, they have a section here called the Wiring Wizard. Do you want to be a wiring wizard? I know I do. What's going on, Jay Shipes? Thanks for hanging out with us, man. So you go to the Wiring Wizard, and we've went over this app before, and there's so much here, but we're going to be talking about the Wiring Wizard today. Now, to show what we had over there, we had 2 drivers, 2 subwoofers, and they were dual voice coil, and they were 4 ohms. You press enter, and it's going to show you every configuration that you can do with this. So you got the series wiring, the parallel wiring, series parallel, and parallel series, and that's it. So to keep it simple so far, either series parallel or parallel series is going to give you the same outcome at 4 ohms. And then if you go all parallel, it's going to be 1, all series 16. So what I did over there was actually series parallel. So which one is this one? This one's parallel, series parallel. So that's exactly what I did. I mean, I wish I could zoom out just a hair, but this app for the computer is not perfect. I can move my head a little bit here, huh? That'll help some. But you just go these numbers with the red and black here. That means that they're just connecting. And that's going to be your series run, meaning just connecting the negative to the positive. In a sense, you're just making that circuit go from here all the way around and just back to here. And then through here and back to there. That's how it works. It's like Christmas lights. When one goes out, they all go out because, you know, this light went out. It's just a dead circuit. When you got parallel everything, you can have one go out and the power is still going to go through, even though it's dead on that one light. So we went series and then just parallel. So negative here to negative here and to the amplifier. And it's really that simple what I did over there. So, well, we might as well spin over there, huh? Okay, so. Sorry, just, it's hard with this because I'm like, I don't know which way I want to go first. You know, just by like talking about doing this, doing that. I'm just kind of going with it here. I'm going with the flow. Kicker, UApp is $3.99. Thank you, inflation. And Uncle Bobby B. I got to throw it up there, man. You know what I mean? It's just, there we go.
Uncle Bobby B, baby. Uncle Bobby B.
Yeah, we got the mic Stream Deck sitting over here. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. And I think my focus is all out of whack now. What do you guys think? Is it out of whack? Let's see. That's looking a little wonky. Yeah, it's focused close in on me. I don't want to be focused close in on. Haven't mastered that yet. That's actually not too bad. Let's see here. That's better. That's better. That's better. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we got a super chat from Jay Shipes. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you, man. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
6 subs, series parallel. So you would go all series and then back to parallel. Now, if you had dual, well, Kicker app only goes up to 4, but there is the Ultimate Car Audio app, but it's not going to give you, it might, I think they did upgrade that to actually show you how to wire it, but it will do all the math for you. And that's what's cool about the Ultimate Car Audio app. I do have that as well. We could show 6 subs, series, parallel, you know, and when you have a lot of woofers like that, that's when you almost need, it can get really confusing. It really can. It really can. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you, man. He's dropping the ball. You're telling me, man. You're telling me. It's okay. All right, so I showed you guys how I pretty much did that over there with the, nope, we're not going to do that now, huh? There we go. Oh, now, yep, he is dropping the ball, Cornet. All right, so, and how that was is just literally, well, nope, wrong way. Gotta love mirrored images. There we go. One at a time here. And you can see how I went from the black on one side, coil 1, to coil 2. And I just connected that like so, and did it on the same one, and then took this negative here because these two are connected. So that's done. That's done. Once you do the series, there's no other wires that are going in here, doubling up on that side that has the series connection. I feel like that's where somebody could mess that up and put, you know, the the negative going here to there on this woofer to make that series parallel jump, and that's not how you do it. You got to keep that separate. The series runs are all by themselves. And then this, in a sense, what you're doing is making this woofer a single voice coil. Think of it that way. Now you just put them together, you bridge them up. It's a series. This is your woofer, and that is it. And then you're either going to connect it this way in series again, or just black to black and red to red in parallel. I feel like that really covers a lot right there, because that's what you're doing. You're making it one woofer in a sense, one coil, one big coil. All right, so, and then I'll show you guys just with parallel. It's literally the same thing. You just take your black to black instead of going the opposite, and then you go red to red. But now that you look at it, let's see, can you see that? Nope. Now you can see it. Now, which one can I connect to? Well, technically either one. Technically either one, because it's going to make a complete circuit. You know, you could go, I mean, I usually just take one here, right here, red to red, black to black. Excuse me. And this is where you're going to run into twisting wires, you know, and that's why Kicker on these and on the L7X, and I'm sure a few others, made the terminals a little bit bigger, because, you know, we love running, you know, just 10 gauge wire on 250 watt speakers, but you can't. You know, it's pretty big. I wouldn't say 10 gauge, but you get what I'm saying. And right now I'm only using 16 gauge for this, just so it's a little bit easier for me to do this real quick and easy and pull them apart. So, and connections are very important whenever you're hooking up a woofer here. So you take your black and you go to black, your red, and then you go to red, and you're going to do the same thing that you did here over here. And all that's doing is taking this dual 4 ohm coil, making it one speaker down to 2. And you connect here to this one. So you're going to have 2 and 2. And that's going to bring you down to 1 ohm. And that's just parallel. And it totally works for most amplifiers, most applications, you know, and I feel like the dual 4 situation, like, it's like you want to know Ohm's law in learning how, you know, I have this many speakers and what kind of configurations. When you do it so often, you kind of just memorize them, you know, and it's like, well, I got dual 4s. I'm either stuck at 1 ohm or, you know, quarter ohm or whatever. If I got 2, if I got 4. And that's why it's like, maybe I need the dual 2 so I can be at half ohm or 2 ohm. And you know, you kind of memorize that stuff. And there's a lot of variables when you have more than 2. And I think that's what I'm going to show you guys next. Let's see here. Jin, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Appreciate you being a member too. Look at these guys. Woodhound, old school basshead, but you can never stop learning wiring, you know, and that's the thing, man. You can never stop with this stuff. You can't. Thank you for tuning in. It is easy peasy. Let's see. All right, cool. Caught it for a little bit there. That's why you should make a wiring schematic to make sure you're bulletproof, and 100%, man. And that's what's great about the Kicker U app. Let's just go head over there. Can we do that? Okay, come on over here. You're slacking, cameraman. You're slacking. All right, so onto the app here. You know what we did again was literally, let me click on here. We just did the parallel. No, we didn't do any of that. We did the parallel wiring to 1 ohm. Now, I know a lot of you guys probably don't want to run at 16 ohms, so I'm not really going to cover series wiring. But series wiring, all that's going to do is just add. And, you know, you could say going parallel subtracts, but it kind of doesn't. It's like there's formulas for every scenario, but with series it's easy. It's like the easiest one. You could just multiply how many ohms you got and what resistance it is, and that's it, you know, or how many speakers you got, how many ohms. Ohmomatic, that's how many ohms. So, back to this. Now, let's see here. It's hard with this. It's really hard with this because there's so many different angles, and the Kicker U app really makes it easy. And like how Bubba was saying about the schematics, all this stuff here, you could just take a look at it and just follow the diagram, you know? Now, one thing I do want to mention is when you have more than 2 drivers. I just want to get that out of the bag. All right, now if you look, parallel series wiring, 4 ohms. Series parallel wiring, 4 ohms. So no matter if you wire them in series first or in parallel, it's going to give you the same result. Now, if we go to 4 just to make it even, gets a little complicated, even on the, you know, the basic ones. You know, you got your half ohm there, 32 ohms. There we go. That's the 32 I was looking for. Now, with dual 4s, if you do parallel series wiring, if you do that first, what that's going to do is you're going to wire them in parallel, like I showed you on the second explanation of just red to red, black to black. And what that's going to do is going to bring those dual 4s up to 8 ohms. So then really you have 4 8 ohm speakers, you know, and you're just parallel. Actually, I did backwards. That's actually series parallel. We'll do series parallel. So you got 4 8 ohm drivers, and you do the series parallel, and that's going to give you 2 ohms. That's going to give you 2 ohms. But then if you do the same thing with parallel series, so you're going to bring the dual 4s down to 2 ohms, and then you're going to multiply that by 4, you get 8. So it's different. But you can just, you can do the math, and it's really simple of why it's different. And I feel like the easiest way to explain it is when you're wiring it in series, you're making that one speaker, like it's a single voice coil. So you're kind of stuck with that, and that's what you got. And then how many you got, you either, you know, divide by 4 or you multiply by 4, and that's your final load. But that's why the app is great, and math, you know, it's great. Well, we got a new member. Thank you, Tron. Man, would you look at that? Oh, where's it at? I had that one right here. And yeah,
It's a live stream? Yeah. Would you look at that?
Thank you, Tron. Appreciate you. Became a YouTube member. Thank you, John, for dropping that. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, please go enter the giveaway. You got another 20-some minutes. Agreed on planned wiring. You know, I know this isn't like an Amp Dyno video, like live stream or like a Q&A, but I mean, we can do that too. But it's just like, it's fundamental stuff of just how to wire my woofers. Like, I see it a lot, man. And like I teased in the trailer, you know, people asking, how do I wire my 2 ohm loaded woofer to, or, you know, dual 2 to 2 ohms? And it would make sense that you could do that. It's a 2 ohm woofer, right? And the problem is you got to wire both the coils. I see some people say, oh yeah, just wire one coil. Like, I've seen it all, you know, and like, yeah, you will get that 2 ohm load, but you also get half the power handling. Literally half the power handling. The speaker will work on one coil. It really will. But you don't want to do that. You're just hurting yourself. Wire to a higher impedance and use both coils. If you can't go lower safely, you know, and you're gonna probably do around the same power, maybe less, but still, you know, you're never gonna not overdrive by mechanical limits, but thermal limits of what the coil can handle, because you're only using half of it, and that's where things can go bad really quickly. Let's see. Oh, come on, 25. Come on.
Make it rain.
Hit it, Michael.
Ready?
Went over.
Peace. Thank you for always being here, 25. I appreciate what you do, man. I really do. Harold, no disassemble.
You got it.
That's it, man. Thank you for tuning in. Our Angelo Cortez, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. All right, so now I feel like this show's going slower than it really is. We're already at 35 minutes because there's so much to unpack, and it's like simple, yet at the same time, it's like I almost would want to help somebody that had a question, like say I got, Dual 2, but it's like use the Kicker app. It makes it super simple. You got your diagram there, but then it's like, okay, well, I want to see if I can run on this amp, and what amp is better for that. And I feel like Kicker making all their amps 1 ohm stable and do the same power at 1 and 2, maybe a little bit more at 1, but still makes it a little bit easier for a lot of cases, especially like the loaded enclosures. I could see them making those maybe like a 1 ohm load eventually, down the road, because it's like, they come with like the dual 2s wired at 2 outside the box. I know Bobby was asking a question on Instagram, and he was like, what about when you have 2 terminal cups on, the box? Like the quad box has 2 terminal cups, and each terminal cup comes out at 2 ohms. And that's because the quad box has all dual 2s. Each one's wired, I think it's up. Yeah, it's up in series. And that would be 4 ohms, 4 ohms, 4 ohms, 4 ohms. So when you put them all together, you get 1. And that's that series parallel. And each terminal shows 2. So you'd have 2 ohms and 2 ohms. And when you put it to the amp's going to see whatever they are all together. Even if you have like 2 terminals on your amplifier. If it's a monoblock amplifier, internally they are just connected together. It doesn't matter if you jam them all in one slot or all 2 of them, it's still going to be the same. You're not going to see 2 ohms and 2 ohms. I'm really trying to cover the basics, because a lot of people, that's what they think they're doing. They're like, oh, well, I got it bridged, and it's like, no, it's all connected. It'll bridge itself, really. But when you have a 2-channel, that's where things are a little bit different. Because then if you have 2 ohms and 2 ohms coming out, each channel seeing 2 ohms. But then if you bridge that, then you're going to see 1. It's not good. No bueno. No bueno at all. Rain has been called. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you. Oh, there we go. Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate you, man. And yeah, smash the like. You know how Dave says, man. You know how he says it.
Yeah, don't forget to hit the like.
Just in case you forgot.
It's real easy. That thing that goes like this. Pretty simple.
That's it. 30 likes. You guys are awesome. And Indigenous Goat just subscribed. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. With doing Kickin with Andy every other Tuesday that Kicker does the Unmasked show, it puts a little bit of pressure on, because it's like, I need to bring something to the table that is, tasty, good information, good input, and something you guys can take away from, or that somebody else can, happen to stumble across when they're on the interwebs trying to figure out how to wire their woofers. And you can do all that. It's great. The apps are amazing. But another thing you can do is, if you ever do get stuck, you can always call Kicker Tech Support, man. That's what they do. They sit there, they're waiting for you to call them, and they are there to help you out. I mean, I do the same thing too, but they're a little bit smarter. The weather is nice now, so he's probably working on it. Thank you, Ashy. 42 people in the chat, 28 likes. That sucks. Smash it, gang. You owe it to our boy Andy. We're up to 31. You guys are awesome, though. Appreciate you tuning in. Would you look at that? Thank you, man. Angelo. Excuse me, man. I got the burps. We had fried fish and mac and cheese for dinner. It was great. Where can I get a box design 2 Kicker L712s? I mean, it all depends what you're trying. If you're trying to get a custom design to fit in your car, that's when you're going to want to go to a box designer. But if you're just trying to fit something in there, you got plenty of space for whatever, the Kicker recommended box dimensions that they list are really awesome. And again, you can use the Kicker app to do this. So whenever you back out of here, out of the wiring wizard, you go to Box Builder and you just type in, you know, sealed, ported, you know, well, we got to change something in the CVT because it didn't even let me pick ported for the CVT because that's a shallow mount driver. It says no, you got to go sealed. It really makes things dummy proof, and that's the best thing about all this stuff, man. So you got 212s. I don't know if they're dual 2, dual 4. It doesn't really matter too much with the enclosure sometimes. And then your input power. Like, it makes it very easy for you guys to build an enclosure here. And then down here, and you can just type in this stuff, or you can just see what they give you. Minimum, maximum. Minimum is yellow line, maximum 4 cubes, so 2 per. And I like the 4 cubes because it gives you a nice total Q, or QTC, of 0.7, which is nice. And port velocity, or no, that's just excursion. That's just your rise. And a cut sheet. Now, this is just generic. That's the thing. That's a generic. And you can type in on the custom part over here where you want it to be. You know, say you only got, 30 inches width. What, you can type all that stuff in and then the target airspace and you're done. And it'll give you the port dimensions and everything. And it's honestly, it's awesome because if you make the box smaller, it's going to give you a little bit more port area per the size of the enclosure, and vice versa. You go way too big, it's going to make the port smaller for the size of the enclosure. And that's the way to go to try things to yourself too. You can always go to a box designer, but to be honest with you, I'm happy with learning on my own. And with these apps and just, Kicker tech support to help you, and just, Facebook, within reason. Within reason. There's some groups you don't want to go to. Kicker Club, we try our best to make that awesome. And to give you not too much wasted information. Appreciate you tuning in. Oh, Double E gifting 10 memberships. Would you look at that? Damn.
This
Double
is what
E.
makes time travel possible. The flux capacitor.
Flux capacitor.
Thank you, Electro, for gifting the members. I did update all the new members on the top of the list, so look for your name there if you're a member or Patreon. Appreciate you guys, and thank you, Double E, for gifting more of those. And so we get more people on the green team, man. Need more on the green team. Now let me think. Do I need to go over there to demonstrate anything else? I mean, like, that's why I wanted to have a demonstration hooked up, and so I could physically do it. But a lot of it is this app just shows everything that you need to do. And there's other stuff out there, but with the Kicker app, they it's going to help you with other questions with your Kicker products. I mean, you're obviously watching the show, so it's the way to go, man. And they make it dummy proof. And I don't know, I always find myself using it. There's Ultimate Car Audio app, but then there's the Kicker app, just to double check. Let's see how it looks on that graph. Let's see what Kicker recommends for that. El Fuego with another $5 super chat.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
On behalf of the best installer I've ever had work on my rides in 35 years, Core Nut, the system is slapping. Thank you, El Fuego. And yes, that Q15, man. I know you're not coming to Slam this year, but I know I will get to experience that build. I'm happy that you're enjoying it, man. I seen posts on Kicker Club today, which is, guys saying like they got 615s in their car. It was the build of the week. I was like, would you look at that? That's crazy looking. And he was like, man, I'm really enjoying these subs. These are the best demo subs I've ever had. And, you know, I hear that from a lot of people, but it's like when it comes from somebody that has a bigger build, it's like you take their words a little more so heavier, you know, with more weight behind them. And it's like, man, you know, it's just awesome to hear that. It's not that I work for Kicker, but it's just like, that's what I do, man. And it's just, it's good to hear. It's, I do this stuff all the time with my Kicker products that I have. And, you know, biased or not biased, they make good stuff. And, you know, it's just cool to hear from other people, man. And El Fuego, same with you. I'm happy that you're happy, dude. I am happy that you're happy. Got Loud with a $5 super chat as well, man. Man, I just can't stop looking at it.
Would you look at that? Oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at it. You gotta look at it this way, okay? You just gotta look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
Thank you, Got Loud. Appreciate you, man. All you guys supporting the channel. And, man, this is great, huh, J5? It's great. You guys, you know, this show, I knew it was going to be kind of packed, but at the same time, it's simple. But, like, wiring your woofers, you know, like, whenever I got the quad box, I'm like, man, let me try it at a lower resistance, you know? And I tried half ohm on 2 of them. You know, because, yeah, and it just, it was too low for the CXA or the CX43s, the 2 ohm version. Half ohm was too low. You figure that, right? So, I wound up getting the CXAs, and that's why I have both of them. But I didn't want to go out and buy another quad box, you know, they don't make a dual 4 version, or buy all new L7Rs, you know, so I got an amp that could handle that lower whatever. And that's kind of like an extreme measure, but I know you guys are going to try this stuff. But that's kind of what we're getting at. It's like, you don't want to wire too low. It's just not going to work. Or if you have to wire too high, it's going to be less power than you planned on going with originally. Thank you, Got Loud. I tried turning these ACs on earlier today, and it just got, I don't even know, just it got way too hot in here. I'm about to turn this fan on over here. Let's see. That should help some. Shouldn't blow off the mic too much. But, yeah, it's just been hot and humid. I don't know how your guys' weather have been, wherever you're at. Again, I think we got 13 more minutes. Not even. Yep, 15 minutes, give or take, to enter the giveaway at kicker.com/umweekly. I appreciate you guys watching tonight, man. Let's see here. I know we had John Myers on last Tuesday. Well, last Kickin' with Andy, that was a blast, man. Trim John Myers from Kicker says they're his favorite subs. They hit like Tyson for shallow mounts. Which ones you talking about, Ashy? He's talking to Trim. Anybody try the shallow L7s? I'm looking on Crutchfield. They have a good sale. Yeah, the L7Ts. Woo! Those are nice. I only have the comp, or the CVTs, not the CVTs. Comp RTs. Or the L7, there's Comp RT and L7T. I don't have the L7Ts, but those L7Ts are awesome. And the engineering that's put into those shallow mounts is like, you know, the underhung, or it's like the opposite of a normal, you know, L7 or, you know, gold letter here of the coil, so that it can be a lot shorter and still have a lot of throw, just so it makes a lot of bass. Let's see. How did you get to do that 3 next to your super chat? That's sweet. Or did YouTube do that by yourself? I don't know. I know YouTube, you can, on YouTube, you can like the super chats now. The L7Ts. I do want to get one. I do not have those yet. Thank you, John. And John is helping us out with the Kicker link. Thank you, John. Trimming something. Leanne, thank you for hanging out with us. Hello from Minnesota. 31,400 entries in currently. Or I mean currently in. I was like, Bubba, man, that's why he be winning. He wants another 50% off discount code for anything at kicker.com. Now I'm going to flip these over before they get ruined, because you don't want to keep your speakers like this forever, because they will get, you know, what have you, smushed and stuff. Where'd my little thingy go? There we go. This thingy here. Now, maybe I could just talk about something else with this before we end the, you know, just do the whole giveaway thing and whatnot. So we did series, parallel, and then we just did all parallel. I mean, with the series, and we talked about everything else, you know, with the multiple drivers where it's going to make different things. I mean, series is really easy. It's the same thing. You're going to take your series cable, just the one going from the negative to the positive, like how we did before. And then the same thing over here. You know, you're going to go red here to this black, but then you got to make sure it'll reach, because it ain't going to reach. You got to go all the way to this end. So that's the thing, you know, plan ahead and buy the right wire strippers, the length. You don't want a ton of wire hanging around. And, you know, I mean, that's a whole nother subject for everything else too, you know, wire length, resistance. I mean, we try to keep it simple here. But you know, wiring woofers, it makes a difference, man. And these dual 4s, again, would be great. Now, the dual 2, it's the same concept. It's the same math here on these L7s. And the one way that you can tell with the L7s is, let me see if I can zoom in here on this. There we go. On the L7s, you're going to either see a dot or you're going to see a solid. It does say on the bottom here, coil 1, coil 2, but that's how you know which one is which. So if it has a dot, it's coil 1. Yep. Nope, it's coil 2. Yeah, no, that's right. Coil 1 is a dot. Come on, Andy, go with instincts. This one is actually wired in series. It's got 2 wires on it, but I'm just using one here. And this is the dual 2, and that's how I had it wired to 4 ohms. Oh, there we go. Just knocking everything out there, Andy. And so if you have 2 of these, you can't just wire it like you would with the dual 4 here to 1 ohm. You'd be stuck at half ohm or 2 ohm. These, you'd be stuck at 1 ohm or 4 ohm, you know, in most cases. That's the way you're going to wire 2 of them. So maybe you should have got the dual 4s if you planned on buying 2. Some people say, well, I'll buy one and I'll buy the other. If you buy one, make sure you plan with the load, the resistance that you can run on the amplifier for whatever you plan on actually finishing it with. Because if you buy this dual 2, yeah, you can wire it to 1 ohm, but maybe you can't run your amplifier at half ohm when you run 2. So that's definitely something to think about. Man, you know, I think that's it. I honestly think that's it. Klein Tools, Home Depot special. I like it though. I wanted a multi-manual multimeter kind of. I don't even know how to explain it. Just not auto ranging, Over the seat. You know what? I am gonna switch headphones just because I can. I love these headphones. They work, and I think I got the voice as close as I'm gonna get it. But there ain't nothing like the Kicker Cush NCs, man. They're just, nothing comes close. Oh, where's my wire? There it is. And honestly, those hold in the heat a little bit more. Woo! Sweating. Yeah, these are lighter. But they will come in clutch for Slamology and pretty much everything else coming down the road. They really are, man. They really are. I thought I already had a pair of them, but I didn't. I did not. The other one was just orange. I had a hard time with the auto ranging one. Whenever I was measuring them, it was like kind of going bonkers and all over the place. And then I pull out the Harbor Freight manual one and it worked flawless. I'm like, is it the multimeter going, or is it because there's all these connection points and the auto ranging's having an issue with it? Regardless, I went with the manual. Chris has a good idea. Can you mix match ohms in speakers? Good question. I did show a video about 3 months ago about doing that. And I used a single 4 and a dual 4. And there were power differences going to each one, even though the amplifier was seeing like 2.67, give or take, or something weird. So you can do it, but then each speaker is going to see a different amount of power. Now, a solid question is, Seth was talking to me last night, and he was like, oh man, I was thinking about running, what was it, a dual 4 and a dual 1. And running the dual 1 at 2 ohm and the dual 4 down the 2. And each speaker would be technically at 2 ohms, and then you wire them together, you see 1, right? So in theory, that makes sense, but I still feel at the coil level, even though at the end of the speaker level, it's at 2 ohms, I feel like each coil, the dual 1s, are going to receive more power each. That's how I'm thinking, man. If the dual 4 and the dual 2, the dual 2s receive more power and it was all wired together, I still think the dual 1s are going to receive more than the dual 4s wired in parallel versus the dual 1s wired in series. I do want to test that. I haven't tried that, but whenever you mix like resistances of ohms and speakers, it's never easy, and it's never going to be the best outcome that you could get if you just matched them. Sure, you can make bass and it'll sound all right, man. But it's not really advisable, I would say. I've done it just to throw things together, and I'm like, man, this one isn't moving that much, and there were like different speakers, so there was that too, but it's just like, man, I should have wired this one down and this one up instead, and it just makes things complicated. It really does. I wouldn't advise it. Thank you for tuning in, though. Brandon Banks, hopefully get to meet you at Slam this year. Missed you last year. I was stuck in SQL judging. Hey, that's not a bad place to get stuck in, man. Yeah, dude, I'm always hanging out at the kicker tent. I don't really walk around too much just because, someone might be walking up to see me and guess what? I'm gone. But still, I might do a little bit of walking around this year. Just a little bit more last year. I went to go walk around on Sunday and it just turned into rainology. But that happens sometimes. Thank you for tuning in. Chris, what is up? This guy is trying to learn about how to wire his subwoofer. Thanks for being here, man. Jason Grant, what is up? Thank you for tuning in as well. Resistance is resistance. Same ohm load, getting same power. Same ohm load, getting same power. Resistance is resistance. Well, whenever I did that test with the amplifier, we tested at the end of the wires. It was like 2.67 something 77, or it was 2.66666666 forever. I don't know. It was a weird load, but then putting on the amplifier and testing, the final power, just what's right at the amplifier, and then testing each speaker, and each one was seeing the single 4 was seeing less power than the dual 4 wired to 2, because that one was at 2 ohms, the other one was at 4. And that makes sense, but then even with, even if they would equal, I feel like the coil winding itself is still going to be the resistance factor of that connection. I'm not 100% though, because I haven't tried it. I haven't tried that. I have a dual 115 over here that I could use. And then excuse me, I got plenty of dual 4s. Woo. Allergy season, you gotta love it. Resistance is futile. Yes. I'm talking about 2 subs wired to 2, excuse me, 2 subs wired to 2 same ohm loads. Right. You always want to match the stuff. I'm sure there might be a way to get around physics, but it's always going to catch up to you. It's always going to catch up to you. Yeah, maybe it was the batteries. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been the batteries on that. Excuse me, man. Multimeters are your best friend. They really are. They're going to be there for voltage, conductivity, continuity. There we go. Resistance. I mean, you could test a little bit of AC too. People use them to set their gains. It is your best friend. I mean, I'm waiting for the day they just, you know, make a an app and a, you know, a dongle for your iPhone, that your iPhone or your Android could be a multimeter, you know. That would be great. You know, just for the simple things. I'm more of a Star Wars kind of guy, but Star Trek was my dad's stuff, so I'm like split into the middle there. All right, cool. I just wanted to catch up on some of your comments. It is so hot in here. I am dying. It is 72 degrees in here, but it's hot. Lots of lights. Usually I keep it like 66 in here. My one AC over there is just kicking the bed. It's not doing anything. Once I start talking, I can't shut up. So it makes it, you know, it makes it hot in here. A lot of hot air. Let's see. Oh, we got to draw these, huh? Now, rigging, yes. Yes. All right, cool. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. All right. How did I have that before? Yeah. That's it. There we go. Crank that waiting music up just a little bit. Much better. Let the ribbing commence. Andy, 2 dual 2 ohm wire to 1 ohm each, then 1 speaker, 2 speaker cup terminals to make 2 ohm. Hold on. What's Bobby asking here? This is a question I want to answer. Andy, 2 dual 2 ohm wire to 1 ohm. Okay. Then 1 speaker, 2 speaker cup, 1 speaker, 2 speaker cup terminals to make a 2 ohm load. I mean, with the dual 2, yeah, I mean, what you would be doing is wiring it down. Or you could do both. You could do series or parallel. With the 2, just being 2, it's still going to equal, you know, 2 ohms. So yeah, you could go to 1 at each terminal block and then series that on the outside of the box to the amplifier, and it would bring you back up to 2 because you have 1 and 1. Or that you could do up. You could go 4 ohms and 4 ohms, and then outside the box, one side to the other, and it'll bring you back down to 2. Now, or you could just take both those terminal cups and go right to the amplifier. It's still going to give you the same 2 ohms, so you don't have to do that extra jump and stuff, mushing wires into terminal boxes. So, I mean, you know, whenever you have 2 different boxes, yeah, you could hook them all together. Just, you know, just hook them all to the amp. It's going to work out, but, you know, just makes it a little more complicated. With the terminal cups, it's just, you're kind of stuck with that binding post. You either have to use both of them or one of them, but as long as it goes to the amp, it's going to be the same thing for most cases, parallel or series. Now, if you got 3 or more terminal cups, I don't know. It really is like all single voice coil at that moment, so you can't really have more than one option. More than 2, sorry. Bobby's giving me a tongue twister here. Like your second example, dual 1 and dual 4 both being wired to 2 ohm, 2 ohm, 2 ohm. Right, but that's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I need to test that. I need to see if that is true. And I could test that. I could test it down to the coil rather than just, you know, what each speaker's seeing. I could test it down to the coil, you know, of that series run going from one to the other and that parallel run going from one to the other. I bet you it's going to be different. Now, does it all equal the same? In theory, it should. In theory, it should. Because if you would have the dual ones wired to 2, you know, I feel like each coil together, it's just, yeah, it's going to be making the same power between the 2, but each one's going to be seeing different. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It's really hard. I need to test it. I need to test it. I need to test that one. We were just talking about it. Kibo! You're late, Kibo! You're late! Love you, buddy. All right. Let me get my rigging on the way here. Come on now. Okay. Actually, To rig or not to rig? That's the question. Wait a minute. I'm slacking today, but it's okay. There we go. That rigging machine likes to break down sometimes. Yeah, it looks good to me. I just need to bring this over here. That's okay. Okay. Oh yeah, Deviant's always watching. Always watching. Stuff shell sound good, Jeff. Andrew NZ, thank you for tuning in. He's saying that's what I'm saying. You're saying it doesn't make sense, and I'm saying resistance. If your meter is reading the same on each sub, it's the same. Right. Well, it's just right. The 1 ohm. You're not gonna let me go with this, are you? The 1 ohm is 1 ohm, right? But then together, right? I don't know. I'm gonna test it very quickly. You might be right, and that's why, like, it does make sense if you don't think about it. Once you start thinking about it, it's like, does it? Will it? Sure, yes, maybe, no, yes, no, yes. God. That's how it gets, though. It's all right. Let's see. There we go. All right, cool. Let's type these in here for you guys. EB400s, third place. Oh. Be driving out there in a few months. Second place, TW1s. Okay. First place. Of course, the Bullfrog. I love you guys. You're so patient. Okay. 50% off discount code. Let's type that one in. Forgot to put in a state on that one. All right, cool. We're set. I think I covered everything with it. I mean, as much as I could. It's something more of like, you know, each case scenario and sitting down with somebody and just being like, all right, well, I'm used to that being my second shot. It's not. I'm telling you. I was preparing a lot for the show, and I knew it was going to be a couple speed bumps, but it's all right. It's all right. And, you know, helping that person planning out what they're going to run, you know. And like I said, plan ahead of time so you're not buying twice, click once kind of thing, you know. Think twice, click once, buy once. I don't know. It's just, it happens, and it's going to happen. I need to turn that down some there. So you guys can... Oh, there we go. Not that low. Maybe we can keep it a little bit higher just for this part here. All right, cool. I can see your comments over here. 42 likes. Do not forget to smash the like before you guys leave. Keep these shows going. Thank you so much for the ones that did. All right, cool. Let's do it. Third place is the EB400s. Weatherproof, waterproof, whatever, what have you. Weather resistant. I mean, I always think, you know, I think Kicker, if it's weather resistant, it should be waterproof, but I know that they have each label on each one, like 67 or 66 or whatever. And these ones are meant for running, sweating, being in the rain. And I did test the Bullfrog 100. It is 100% waterproof, still running. But these are the EB400s, earbuds kind of things, you know. They got a little wire around them, but they're Bluetooth, and they're awesome. And you get the swag pack, the Kicker koozies, the cups, the lanyards, the whole nine, thanks to Sandy and the gang, goes to Jake P. in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Congratulations, Jake P. Thank you for watching, and keep a lookout for an email from Bill. I forgot about James O'Brien. He texted me last Friday, hey, when am I getting that 50% off discount code? I'm like, dude, you know, I forgot something. I got you. And that's awesome, though. So when you get the 50% off discount code, I'll be going to you. Otherwise, these are all from Mr. Bill Frog. And second place, TW1s, the whole swag pack, t-shirt, unmasked swag pack. It's just awesome. Goes to Lily T in Mesa, Arizona. Congratulations. Again, thank you for watching. And you're going to like those TW1s. Those are the pair that I have, and I use them almost every night for sleeping, man. And listening to podcasts, YouTube, you name it. They work. They're awesome. First place, the Bullfrog 100. The Bullfrog 100. and a Kicker swag pack goes to... I seen this, I was dying. Don J. Not Cornut from the Pacific Northwest.
The Pacific Northwest.
Congratulations, Dawn. And man, that's crazy. That's crazy. We got one more. 50% off discount code. Anything at kicker.com goes to Christopher A. from Orange City, Florida. Congratulations. I'll be getting with you within the week here. I try to get to it before Kicker has their other show. Poor James, I totally forgot about him. I'm like, dude, I'm glad you messaged me. I totally forgot. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Christopher. Thank everybody for tuning in, hanging out with me tonight, man. If you had any last few questions, otherwise we will wrap this thing up, man. Let's see here. Face Kicker still hanging out. What's up, man? Kibo! Woo! One of them 42 is mine. I can't. Hey, we try to rig it in good old fashion. We try to. Congratulations. Yeah, it's rigged. Smashes. Oh, man. I knew it. Congratulations. It's rigged. Rigged. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you guys for hanging out. No, what? No way. Cool. Thanks, Christopher. Austin. I'll be reaching out to you, man. livinloudwithandy@gmail.com. Just look out for it. I just verify the email. Make sure that it's right. So I'm not just sending the code to the wrong email. And we'll get you straight, man. 50% off discount code. Good for anything at kicker.com. Which is awesome. Thank you, Simon. Man, you have too many comments coming in. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Sorry, Baba. I'm losing my voice. Congratulations to all the winners. Not going to keep you guys here all night. Andy, I'll text you later this weekend about wiring more in depth. All right, Bobby. We're going to have to bring Bobby on here. He seems like a wiring wizard. I don't know, man. I like sticking with the apps, man, you know, because they're going to walk you through it. And just so you don't run into any problems. Whenever you run into an issue and it's like, man, I can't get it right. Check out the Kicker U app, Ultimate Car Audio app. There are apps out there to be your friend, just like your multimeter. And without further ado, we're going to end the show. I love you guys. And as always, stay living loud.
Let's get it. Uh-oh. Yeah. Okay. I see what we're doing. Kicking it with Andy, right? You know what that means. Living loud. Hey, yo, we kicking it with Andy at the house. He's coming to you live from the casting couch. He's a kicker freak. Hey, yo, what you think? So grab a seat and get your favorite drink. Don't go nowhere, you'll be glad you waited. Andy content comes highly rated. He got more hits than a Brooklyn mobster, doing hair tricks in the Cookie Monster. Straight give you goosebumps like you ticklish. Hey yo, rest in peace to Chris the Fish. So get your popcorn, Andy's going live. But the show don't start till Deviant arrives. What?
John K. roll up to learn some sound effects. Met some good peeps, now chillin', relax. The after show is lit, yo, check the live chat. And in the clips, you wanna try that. Kicking it with Andy is such a dope show. He stays super positive and a super chill bro. Making us laugh with his McGill memes. Quality content in all of his streams. Why does Cookie Monster bang harder than a wall? Cause he was the big brand name that started it all. Kick a bass so low that it's messing with your psyche. Y'all running Sketcher while my homie running Nike. My homie running Nike. My homie running Nike. My homie running Nike.
Hey, yo, Johnny, have a seat, relax. We got this next one. Yeah. Hey, yo, check me out. Third verse like that, we say the best for last. Drop a super chat to get your question asked. 5K subs, yo, he gon' hit. Got a L7X and a Recone Kit. Tuesday and Friday, yo, we on the set. Unless he get that Patreon check, go ahead, subscribe, and he's on the mic. If you gotta run by, please hit the like. Solo and Wiz got that fish tank filled, but is he ever gonna finish that Walmart build? Ain't got a witness, so we'll never know. That was 3 minutes, now enjoy the show. Let's go.
My homie running Nike.
Hey, yo, Andy, love you, boy. Keep doing your thing, King. You got this.
My homie running Nike.
You gotta love the you know, just the guys on this winning. That's why we rig it. This guy's already looking at kicker.com. There we go. Baba, who gonna get the caboose? Uh-oh. Cornut. Man, you know, 18-second roll. That's it. And you know what? We can actually end the show with a button now, which is pretty cool. But actually, you know what? I forgot to put on this one. Darn it, I forgot to put it on this one. Best late night show. Keep it up. Thank you, Pirates Den. After party, here we come. Boom. Wait, got loud. Cornut. There's Cornut right there. Love you guys. See you on the next one. Discord.